So I'm going to pass this little piece of wood. This is a piece of Tulip Poplar. We usually see it as secondary draw linings. And you'll see it actually has, most of it is, in this particular sample, is greenish. And then there's white. That's the way Tulip Poplar is. And the green color comes from the mineral in the soil. So on this draw side, which is Tulip Poplar, you see how it changes? It's not as green because it's been cut and it was exposed to the air, whereas this piece was just freshly cut. So I'm going to pass this around, and one of the things I want you to notice about this draw, which is comes from that curly maple high board, this is made in Stonington, was a real rarity. You will see that the dovetails are cut on an angle. And if you take your fingers, you can actually feel that the top of the draw is actually narrower than the bottom. That's because the man who made this made the bottom wider so that it has more space for the draw to run on, and the top doesn't bind when it's being pushed into the draw space, the void. So it's very clever, and we think it was pretty much done in southeastern Connecticut. And so that's just not a wood factor, but I'm going to pass this around, and you can see a sample of the Tulip Poplar, which is a great wood that still grows today. Lumber yards sell it. It's great for kitchen cabinets. It cuts really clean. It's really easy to work with. It's very light, but very sturdy. It's a wonderful wood. And so it's just a little sample, and we'll pass that around for you guys to see. We'll do walnut and mahogany. Walnut and mahogany are two of the woods that was used a lot in New England and throughout the colonies as the show wood. Mahogany, of course, because it came from the island, was very expensive. And so you had to have a lot of money to have your furniture made out of mahogany. Chest of drawers, tall chests, whatever, tables. It took a lot of money to have mahogany furniture. This is a sample of a mahogany box where what they would do is they would save the really good wood for such a rare little, wonderful little box so that it really made an impact. But not all mahogany had that. And that's why a lot of times there was really no flame, what we call flame to the wood. It was just really good mahogany. But that's where they would keep, and that would be the crotch where two branches went like that, and you split it, and that's what makes that really wonderful sort of flame to the wood, and it's very decorative. So that would have been a pretty expensive little box when it was made. Somebody really would have wanted a really special box. On the other hand, we have this terrific little table, which was made in Rhode Island, and very likely by the Townsend and the Goddards. It has survived in absolutely perfect condition. It is a little jewel. And one of the funny things about the Goddards and the Townsends is they were in charge of the port. So when the ships came in from the Caribbean, they had first pick of the wood. And so they not only got paid for their job, but they got to pick the best wood. And so they all went right up to their shop, and all their competitors got the secondary wood. But this little table, the grain is very straight. It doesn't have a lot of flame to it, but that's why. They wanted really straight grain, really fine, so the leaves wouldn't warp because the grain is so straight. And that's why it has survived in such great condition. The wood was well chosen, and they were great cabinet makers, and that all made for a great, great survival. One of the most lovely little tables. But then, not everybody can afford wood from the Caribbean. That was brought a long way. So what we had here was walnut. And there was a red walnut and a black walnut. And the red walnut was sort of the wood that the early colonists used. It has a little different color than black walnut. And this would be what we call black walnut. And that is, and if you look at it, and it still imitates a lot of what mahogany looks like. I don't care who the dealer is, or who the museum person, or who the collector. Not everybody's always certain every time about whether the wood is walnut or mahogany, because the two woods imitate each other on many occasions. Sometimes we can tell right off, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. And so we're going to pass this piece. This is walnut, and we've, let's see.
Before you pass it, the one indication that I've been told is helpful to try to figure out the difference between walnut and mahogany is to look at the unfinished surface. And the unfinished walnut will have a grayish cast to it, where unfinished mahogany will have a reddish cast to it. It's not always possible to find that, and I was just looking on the inside of this box, but that's finished as well. The bottom, yeah, I don't know what that one is. That looks like mahogany has a little bit of a warm reddish where it's kind of been worn away here. So I think this is just solid mahogany. Another little piece that we recently came across is this wonderful turned piece of wood known as a fid. And this was used on board a sailing ship, probably made by a sailor, and it was used to repair ropes. And you could weave it into, get it into the woven cords of the wood, the ropes to pry them apart, and then re-weave the rope cords back together. And just really nice quality, and certainly has some serious weight to it. A walnut, I also thought, so this high boy here has walnut veneer. And you can see that the quality of that veneer and the intricacies of the grain that walnut can get. I've also been told walnut being a nut tree, it has more, and you think of how it grows, it's a little more twisted. It'll have a little bit more twisted grain, where mahogany, if it's not the crotch of the tree, it's going to be very straight grain. So, yeah, like the table, yeah, it's going to be very straight grain. So, even on this little piece of walnut that we have here, you have these kind of figuring, these little knots up in the corner. It's not just a piece of straight grain full.
I'm going to pass these two little samples. This one is mahogany. This one is walnut. If you look at them really closely, you're going to see the pores that are very similar to each other. But one is redder, the mahogany. One is grayer or blacker. That's the walnut. So that's why we had these two samples made, so you can put them side by side and you can actually see the difference.